What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of the Red Brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a wrestler leaves WWE, did CM Punk go off script, the real reason why wrestlers are leaving WWE, John Cena's final opponent revealed, is Kevin Nash suing TKO, The Rock addresses the movie Smashing Machine being a flop, WWE is greedy and ugly, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. As always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good. It's number 1, the Bloodline story. The Bloodline story is once again at the center of Raw, and once again, it's one of the best things on the show. Jey Uso's ascension to being corrupted by power and greed has continued, and WWE delivered numerous segments involving the Usos and Roman Reigns, which even saw Reigns gaslight both members of the celebrated team. WWE are handling this storyline with expert care, and the fact they aren't shying away from having Reigns and Jey on a more morally ambiguous side makes for fascinating television. This is truly great stuff. Number 2, Maxine wins. And one of the most shocking match outcomes of the year, Maxine Dupree defeated Becky Lynch on Raw last night. Okay, it was a count-out win, but it was still a major moment for Dupree, who continues to vastly improve in the ring. Number 3, seeds planted. WWE has officially planted the seeds for Paul Heyman to turn on Seth Rollins. On Raw last night, in a fantastic backstage segment, Heyman would state that if Rollins doesn't defeat Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel, then he'll question if he made the right decision in picking Rollins over Roman Reigns. This is likely a red herring, as it's virtually guaranteed at this point that Rollins picks up the W at Crown Jewel this weekend. And CM Punk is back. As CM Punk is finally back on television, and he's reinserted himself in the drama between LA Knight and the Usos. A match between Punk and Knight and the Usos would main event the show, and the match acted as a credibility restoration for Knight, who tagged in at the last minute to pick up the win. There's no news as of yet in relation to what Punk's future plans are in WWE, but he did suggest seeking the world title once more, which ultimately means another chapter in the Punk vs Rollins rivalry. That was good. What about the bad is number 1, no story needed? After his match on Raw, AJ Styles would climb onto the announce table to state that his match at Crown Jewel vs John Cena doesn't need a story, as the story writes itself. This is an interesting way to build up the match, and while AJ is correct, this is WWE basically covering for the fact that Cena wasn't available for any television dates on the road to the PLE. And number 2, where the hell are the tag titles? Oh, it's another week, another Raw without the tag titles being defended. Are they ever going to be defended on TV again? Raw practically doesn't even have a tag division at this point, and tag team wrestling is clearly not the focus in 2025 for Triple H and WWE. There was nothing downright ugly on this show. As compared to SmackDown, this show is on a different planet in terms of overall quality. There is gripping storytelling up and down the card, and the show actually has a purpose, which unfortunately can't be said right now when it comes to the Blue Brand. What do you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at a WWE exit confirmed. Now, our top story today takes a look at confirmation relating to a major WWE exit. Last night, it was widely reported that SmackDown star Santos Escobar was planning on leaving WWE, and then it was subsequently reported by reputable site Fightful Select that this was indeed the case. We finally have news on the future of Santos Escobar. Escobar has made a number of ominous posts of late and has effectively vanished from WWE television. His last WWE match in general was a WWE Super Show house show in Mexico and has been used sparingly in the ring all year. WWE sources confirmed to Fightful Select this morning that Santos Escobar's contract is up very soon and hasn't looked like he'll be staying with the company as of now. It was implied that the two sides had discussed an extension, but we're not confirmed as much. In an update, WWE sources say that Santos' deal will be up at midnight. The company has made attempts to re-sign him, but he passed on the offers. Now, in relation to why Escobar turned the offer down, according to Fightful's report, he was unhappy with the creative direction of his character as opposed to the money he was making in the company. Sources that we spoke to indicated it was more creative dissatisfaction than it was about money, and that he was offered a raise. We're told to not to be surprised to see him at NYCC this week. But whilst Escobar was barely used by WWE, it is disappointing that he's exited the company. He had a ton of talent, and unfortunately he was never given a substantial push up the card. Escobar's exit has now been made official on WWE's website, and he's been moved over to the alumni section. Escobar then broke his silence on social media with one word, simply captioned "Palante," which loosely translates to forward. But the real reason why wrestlers are leaving WWE. During the start of the Triple H era, it was presented as if WWE was the place to be. They were re-signing names left, right, and center, and everyone seemed to be happy. Now names such as Karrion Kross and Santos Escobar are willing to turn down good money contracts in favor of venturing outside of WWE, and why exactly is this? Well, for some of the names that are leaving WWE, the money is solid, yet they could potentially be making a killing on the independent scene. Doing this allows them to be their own boss, and the revenue they can create from merchandise and brand endorsements can be astronomical. Whilst the money may be solid for main roster talent, the same couldn't be said for NXT names. Jasmine Nix made it clear that the NXT money wasn't good enough, which is crazy because NXT, despite being marketed as a developmental brand, has a live television deal, so surely these names should be making significant money. TKO and WWE are making record profits year on year, so it's understandable why some of the names in NXT are very frustrated and have decided to leave the company behind. Additionally, WWE are obviously in a weird position with their creative output. The shows this year have been met with mixed reviews from fans, and the talent are evidently feeling the negativity. Kross wasn't happy with his creative direction, and Escobar felt the same according to the reports. When it comes to Escobar, he was offered a new contract, but he simply wasn't being used, so it was a case of WWE paying him to do absolutely nothing, which some wrestlers just aren't interested in. Next up is Kevin Nash suing TKO. As a major change that TKO has implemented in WWE is the amount of royalties that current and ex-wrestlers receive. According to Kevin Nash on his podcast, the royalty checks have dropped so much that he's considering suing TKO. I was talking to Mr. Waltman this week. We had our weekly update. We both got our royalty checks. I said, holy heck, the last one was good. This one was rotten. I mean, it was half. When I was making huge money in my royalties, it was broken down. It would say NWO t-shirts, NWO women's t-shirt. Now it says NWO intellectual property, and there's just a number. There's no subcategories. It's gonna be a forensic accounting, and I'll effing sue them. I mean, that's just the way it goes. It got weird when they sold. If you take all those guys and you cut that in half and put that back on the books, that's several $1 million. And Nash would then add that he's shown nothing but loyalty to the company over the years, and he's even missed Sting's final match out of sheer loyalty to WWE. However, there could be a big reason behind this, and according to one Reddit user, this move from TKO is down to Donald Trump's tariffs and increased costs. I'm a contract and employment attorney with clients in the entertainment industry, including WWE and AEW. TKO isn't randomly changing the royalty percentages as they are set by the talent legend contract. The reductions are tied directly to tariffs and the increased cost for materials and production. Because royalties are based on net profit of merchandise, that has translated into significant reductions across all talent royalty payments in 2025. Therefore, it's possible that this isn't directly linked to WWE and TKO, and it's possibly a wider issue within the entertainment industry in the US. Next up, did CM Punk go off script? During last night's Raw, CM Punk and LA Knight had a war of words, but during this exchange, did CM Punk go off script? Well, it certainly looked that way. LA Knight boasted that Seth Rollins has never pinned him. CM Punk would roast LA Knight back by saying, the same guy who's never been a heavyweight champion. But it seemed that line blasted LA Knight so much that he had to take a pause between the promo. Was he expecting that line at all? Possibly not. Next up, John Cena's final opponent revealed. And we're just 2 months away from John Cena's final ever match, and a new report has surfaced related to what WWE have planned. According to the Wrestling Observer, Gunther is said to be Cena's final ever opponent, and Cena's opponent is said to be decided via a tournament. Two sources have confirmed that the latest plan is for a tournament to be announced, possibly on the air by Paul Levesque, with top wrestlers vying to be Cena's last opponent. But multiple have confirmed, however, it reaches the conclusion that Gunther was the person chosen for the match. Gunther has been heavily rumored to be Cena's final opponent, so this report has a ton of credence. The tournament ideally is extremely strong, as it gives significant weight to Cena's final match. Additionally, with Cena not working any TV dates between Survivor Series and his final match, this would be a great way to build up a match in Cena's absence. Next up, The Rock addresses his movie bombing at the box office. The Rock's Smashing Machine movie underdelivered at the box office, and The Rock himself has taken to his personal Instagram to address the movie failing, and he had a rather interesting spin on the box office figures. From deep in my grateful bones, thank you to everyone who's watched The Smashing Machine. In our storytelling world, you can't control box office results, but what I realized you can control is your performance and your commitment to completely disappear and go elsewhere. And I will always run to that opportunity. It was my honor to transform in this role for my director Benny Safdie. Thank you, brother, for believing me. Truth is, this film has changed my life, with deep gratitude, respect, and radical empathy. Lead actors taking to their social media pages to address their movie's bombing is rather unusual, and a lot of movie critics are labeling the move as damage control. With that being said, there's still some time for the movie's box office fortunes to turn around. It was probably just the worst week to release it on. However, The Rock also made a gracious gesture for the movie, as according to Deadline, Johnson took a significant pay cut for the film in the amount of $16 million. The Rock's usual fee of $20 million was heavily reduced down to $4 million instead. The Rock did this to give a portion of his reduced paycheck to co-star Emily Blunt and to the real Mark Kerr. Next up, the Crown Jewel card is set. The card for Crown Jewel is officially set following Raw last night, and we now officially know who Roman Reigns is facing. The card is set at 5 matches and will feature Roman Reigns vs Bronson Reed in an Australian street fight, whatever the hell that is. Maybe it's involving some boomerangs as weapons. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley vs the Kabuki Warriors, Styles vs John Cena, Seth Rollins vs Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel title, and Stephanie Vaquer vs Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Crown Jewel title. Due to WWE keeping PLE match cards short and sweet, it's unlikely that any additional matches are added to the card. What do you guys think of the final card though? And finally, WWE is labeled greedy and ugly. Our final story today takes a look at an interview from famous actor Paul Hauser, who's called out TKO and WWE for being greedy when it comes to ticket prices. Speaking to TMZ, the Fantastic Four star had this to say in relation to how TKO are handling the business. Times are tougher than they used to be, but the prices are going up. There's no real humanity from a corporate perspective. To me, that's like Mr. Potter and It's a Wonderful Life. You're getting greedy, ugly. You're being ugly by doing that. And it's great to see a major celeb call out WWE for this, as despite fans making it clear that ticket prices are way too high, they're doing very little about it. But there you have it folks, our look at Raw as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.